So some of the challenges that are unique to teenagers, I could go on and on about this for probably an hour or two, but we'll stick to a few major things. Number one that we think about is puberty. Not only are we thinking about the personal change within that adolescent, but we're thinking about social changes too. One adolescent might start at 10 or 11 or 12, while others might not start until 15, 16. So it's really important to have open conversations about that within family systems, with trusted adults in their lives, all of that. There are also a couple challenges that not a lot of people are really aware of, and these are psychological phenomena that adolescents go through, and we call that adolescent egocentrism. So we're talking about ego, so that is their sense of self, and it's kind of this stage that adolescents go through where their thoughts are really centered on themselves. And there are two separate parts of this adolescent egocentrism that we think about. They're just parts of development. So we have this imaginary audience where adolescents believe that they are kind of playing center stage in the world, where they are like the number one star, where they believe that people are watching them or judging them. But when we pair this with anxiety, this can get really challenging, especially when we're talking about social anxiety. So social anxiety, there can be a lot of fears about judgment, about scrutiny from others. We do a lot of work around just simply reducing anxiety around those kinds of things when we have this imaginary audience paired with this anxiety. The other part of adolescent egocentrism is this thing called the personal fable. So this is where adolescents believe that their own thoughts and experiences are especially unique and that no one has ever experienced them before. This can cause adolescents to believe that they are kind of invincible or untouchable. This is where we see a lot of problems with unprotected sexual acts, dangerous and risky experimenting with substance use. And the other part is, especially when depression comes in, this personal fable can lead to a lot of feelings of being misunderstood, that no one can understand them, feelings of isolation and loneliness. When that comes into play, we really want to start thinking about and addressing that from a mental health perspective to make sure that they're feeling like they can connect with someone, that someone understands them. When I talk about triggers with adolescents, it can be in regard to depression symptoms, anxiety symptoms, trauma symptoms. So a lot of it is based on that adolescent's personal experience for what has been challenging to them. For a lot of teens, just psychosocial issues, friend challenges are constantly talked about in here. Different changes with school, whether we're transitioning schools from middle school to high school, or from high school to college, or high school to career. So some signs that parents should never ignore, especially in regard to self-harm and suicidal ideation. If you're seeing scars that are in various stages of healing, if your adolescent is wearing long sleeves and pants, even when it's hot outside, suicidal gestures or comments, even if made in joking, really need to be attended to. Watching out for risky social media use. So social media is really changing the mental health of our teenagers. We know now that social media use is associated with higher levels of depression and anxiety, suicidal thoughts, even suicidal acts. There is a specific app that you can download that will alert you when certain kind of buzzwords are used. If your teens are talking about suicide or self-harm, even if your teen is deleting those texts or is trying to hide their social media use, so you can know that these things are being talked about, so you can have open and honest conversations with your teenagers. There's a lot of kind of adolescent parent angst that can come out and trying to navigate those different challenges. One thing that's so important is to never underestimate the power of modeling to your kids, whether that's about mental health challenges, just about communication in general. Adolescents pick up a lot about what is okay and not okay to be talked about in their family system from how their parents talk about things and what their parents talk about. So coming along teens and helping them address these challenges is so important in a way that feels safe to them. Reaching out to a place like Parkview Behavioral Health, where we have very specialized services for adolescents, is so important.